Welcome to the Glitch Report, your daily marketing botcast. Brought to you by Leadpages. Here are our hosts, Kai and Luna.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dive into some really interesting stuff happening right now in marketing and on some of the biggest digital platforms.
Yeah, it definitely seems like things are moving pretty fast.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at Google, of course, and how they're thinking about AI and the future of search. And then we've got X and their big push towards becoming a video-first platform.
Right.
And then we'll wrap up by looking at some significant updates that Google's made to their advertising tools. So our goal here is to kind of like bring you up to speed on these changes really quickly and help you understand why you should care about them.
Exactly. And I think we've done a pretty good job of synthesizing all of the key insights so that you can really get a grasp on the main changes without having to, sort through all the technical details.
Right. Yeah. So let's just jump right into it with Google, I guess, and what they're thinking about search moving forward. They recently had their Search Central Live event and had a pretty clear message about artificial intelligence. What is your take on that message?
Well, I think the most interesting part is that they're really emphasizing that AI is going to enhance search. It's not going to replace it.
Right.
And they're using those AI overviews as a prime example, those quick summaries that you see at the top of the search results now.
Yeah, those immediate answers. But the really important part is that Google is stressing that they're designed to work with traditional search results, not to replace them.
Yeah.
And there are always those prominent links back to the original content. It seems like they're trying to walk this tightrope between user convenience and the needs of the content creators. Mm-hmm. As someone who spends a lot of time searching for information online, what does this mean for you?
Well, I think it suggests that it's going to become even more important for people to really understand user intent and to be providing concise information that's easy to digest, within their content in order to rank well.
Okay.
Because Google is prioritizing those direct answers now. So think of it more as Google trying to give you a faster and more efficient starting point for your research, not the final destination.
That's a great way to put it. So let's move on from Google Search and talk about X now and their big push into video. I mean, they've said publicly that they want to be a video-first platform. Yeah. So what are some of the steps they're taking in that direction?
Well, one big one is the React with Video feature,
right,
which is similar to TikTok's green screen, where you can overlay your video response directly on top of your original post.
Okay, yeah. So it's all about driving more visual engagement. And I remember reading something about this entity segmentation thing that they're working on.
Yeah, so entity segmentation is this feature that they're developing that basically allows the platform to isolate and recognize specific elements within a video, like a person or object, so you can do more interactive overlays with it.
Okay.
And if you look at this in the bigger picture, X has reported that their video views have increased by 40% year over year, which is huge. And they're even starting to explore text-to-video capabilities through their Grok AI. Yeah. So I think the big question is, how will all of this video focus really change the user experience on X?
That's a good point because, despite all of that, X doesn't really feel like a video-centric platform when I'm using it.
Right.
In the way that we actually navigate it and interact with it.
Exactly. It feels like they're just experimenting to figure out the most effective way to use video to get people more engaged.
Right.
And what that means for you is that you should be thinking about how your own engagement habits might change as the platform starts to prioritize different kinds of media.
Interesting. Okay, so the last thing we wanted to touch on today brings us back to Google and specifically their advertising platform. They recently announced some new conversion tracking columns for their demand gen campaigns. So what's the main takeaway for advertisers?
I think the most important thing here is that Google is trying to make it easier for advertisers to directly compare how their demand gen campaigns are performing against their paid social campaigns. And these new platform comparable conversion columns attribute 100% of the last touch to demand gen interactions.
So for someone running these campaigns, how does that actually change things for them?
Well, it means that they can see the direct impact of their demand gen ads using a very similar attribution model to what a lot of social media platforms use, which tend to rely on that view through data.
Okay.
And these columns are available at both the campaign and ad group levels, so you can really get a granular view. It seems like Google wants to be more competitive in the social media advertising space by giving marketers these metrics that are more directly comparable.
Makes sense. Okay, so to just recap quickly. Google says that AI is going to enhance search, not replace it. X is going all in on video with some pretty interesting new features. And Google Ads is giving us new tracking tools for demand gen campaigns that are more in line with how social media platforms operate.
Exactly. And all of these are really significant changes that reflect how we're finding information and interacting with each other online.
So as you're online, whether you're searching for something, connecting with people, or even thinking about your own marketing efforts, I think it's important to consider how these platform changes could impact you. How might Google's AI change the way you look for information? Will X's video focus change how you engage on social media? And if you're in marketing, how will these new tools affect your strategies?
Yeah.
It's a constantly evolving landscape. That's something I'll be thinking about.
Yeah, me too.
Until next time.
See ya.